What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to do my full review for the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4 in 2023. Now, of course, this has been out over a year. Z Fold 5 is a new boy on the block. But do you really need to upgrade from this to that? I would say no. Because pretty much everything is the same, except the Z Fold 5 gets a little bit brighter and also has a new chipset. But pretty much it's the same phone, same dimensions, same size battery, same cameras. It's pretty much the same device for the most part. Could be some other slight changes, but for the most part, it's the same device. But I'm not here to talk about the Z Fold 5. Let's talk about the Z Fold 4. Now, I've had this device now for a few weeks, and I am impressed with this device for sure. No doubt about it. But, based on my Z Fold 2, definitely an upgrade. So if you're thinking about upgrading from the 2 to the 4, it's definitely worth it. It'll be literally a 2-year upgrade, not an update like the 4 to the 5. That's more of an update. But from the 2 to the 4 is actually an upgrade. And I actually think from the 3 to the 4 is actually an upgrade too, just based on the fact that the outer display is wider. All right, so let's get into this. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about is all the things that I like. Then I'll talk about the things that I don't like. Now, I just got this case today. I love this case. This case is so premium feeling, premium looking. Love the color. That gold and red is and black is absolutely beautiful. But in order to do what I need to do, I need to take this thing off to show you the build quality. And this is also a screen protector. Show you the build quality. Get this off real quick, and then I'll put it back on because it's easy to navigate with it on. All right. First thing I like about this device is the color. The color is beautiful. Burgundy. I've never had a burgundy device before. Love it. It's just absolutely beautiful. Even the hinge is burgundy. I thought they would have made it silver, but even the hinge is burgundy. So it's a beautiful, beautiful color. I love it. Next thing, the build quality. Gorilla Glass Victus Plus. Of course, it's always nice to get a stronger Gorilla Glass on here. But Gorilla Glass Victus actually is good. I never had a problem with Gorilla Glass Victus on my other devices. But it does have Gorilla Glass Victus Plus, which is good. And it also has an Armor aluminum frame that's supposed to be tougher with drops and more scratch resistant. I don't know if that's actually, true or not, because I'm not going to be using this without a case. So I'm not concerning myself with that. But I tell you one thing, this phone feels extra premium. It feels luxurious. It really does. I mean, it feels so good. It's just hard to explain until you hold this in your hand and you feel it. Like if you have the Z Fold 2 or the Z Fold 3, you can definitely feel the difference. Because the Z Fold 2 and the Z Fold 3 are very similar as well. Especially as far as dimensions. Now, the hinge may be a little smaller on the 3. I don't know. But they pretty much the same phone too. But that build quality on this feels extra premium, extra luxurious. Feels beautiful. It really is. Along with the color. You're not going to want to put a case on it. But I would suggest you do put a case on it just to protect it. And it's a lot easier to open with a case on it, as opposed to you would have to literally dig your fingernail in there to open it. So it's much easier to open it with a case. It just is. Next, the design. Now, it's not, it's a simple design, but a beautiful design. It's very luxurious looking, very simple, but elegant. It has a nice elegance to it. So, I know there's other phones coming out with, bigger circular cameras and all that. And I don't have a problem with, the way they look either, but I do like the design of this device. It's simple, straight to the point, but it looks very, very elegant. Now, what I'm going to do, oh, not yet, not yet. So I love the design. Next thing, the device is lighter. Definitely lighter than my Z Fold 2. Definitely. Now, I didn't think I would actually like that because I don't really like phones that are super light. Now, it's not a super light device, but it is definitely lighter than the Z Fold 2. The Z Fold 2 is definitely heavier. But I like the weight of this. Like, they don't really need to make it that much lighter than this, even though I think they did with the Z Fold 5 and made it a little lighter. Now, I don't know how that feels compared to this because I don't have the Z Fold 5, but I do like the little bit, lighter. It doesn't feel like a big heavy weight in my pants. Like certain pants, it don't matter, but if I'm wearing jogging pants, sometimes it could cause my pants to sag a little bit, and I don't like my pants sagging. So I do like the lighter weight. Next, the wider outer display, as you can see. Now, is it considerably wider than the Z Fold 2? All right, let me pull that out. Now, I think it definitely makes a difference. Now, I'm not saying just like it's just gigantic difference, but it's definitely a difference. You can see it, and it's much easier to text on this one than on the 3. On the 2, it was I just could not text on it. It was just too small. Now, for me, I don't have huge hands and fat fingers, so this size screen is not an issue for me. Now, I know some people still prefer a little bit wider display, and some people like this display, just fine. They don't want it to be super wide because they like the one-handedness of the device. But going from the 2 to the 4, my main thing was the outer display is definitely wider, and I tend to use the outer display a lot more now. The outer display was almost unusable. Like I would say 99% of the time, I always opened up to the larger display because everything was just too narrow. Everything was like, squished together. It just wasn't really manageable for me. But this, definitely, I'm using the outer display a lot more because it's wider. But you can clearly see that it's wider, and it's a whole lot better. It's like almost like night and day compared to what it was. And like, say, when you text, if you got to text something, I'm trying to bring up something. Let me see. It's something random. Okay. I don't want to learn more. Just I hate when I try to bring up something random and I have trouble doing it. Let me see. All right, bring this up. See the keyboard? Now I'm going to bring up the keyboard real quick on this one. Okay. So when you look at the keyboard on both, you can clearly see the keyboard is bigger on this. So it's a little easier to type. Now, if you have super small hands, then even the 2 is not going to be a problem for you, but it's just a little bit too small for me. Now, I know you could voice text. I know you could swipe and all that. I don't really swipe. I don't do a whole lot of voice texting, but it's definitely better on the Z Fold 4 when it comes to texting. And just the front display is just a lot more usable. When I'm doing anything, I can go on Facebook, Instagram, and I don't feel compelled to have to open up the phone, especially if I'm out and about. Like if I'm home, then most of the time I'm opening up the phone. But if I'm out and about, I want to be able to view things on here without, having to strain my eyes to see anything. And the next thing, this has a smaller hinge. It's not as big as the hinge on the Z Fold 2. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, but it's definitely smaller. It doesn't protrude as much. It's definitely smaller. That's definitely, I don't know if you could tell by holding them together like this, and I don't know if you can tell, but this is definitely smaller. That's what makes it feel even better in the hand, because it's, it's lighter, and the hinge is smaller. So now I'm going to put this case back on because it's a lot easier for me to navigate this with the case on it. Here, protect the whole body of the phone and also protect the screen. Now I like that this snaps into place too. So you just get that on there and everything just snaps right into place. So it doesn't even come open. All that snaps right into place. And I like that. Look, this is all metal. All this is metal. So there's nothing flimsy, and you got the kickstand. So there's nothing flimsy about this case. Nothing at all. Love it. All right, next. You're getting 120 hertz refresh rate on the front display. Now, that's something I actually love. Now, that's not going to be a big deal for most people, whether it's 120 hertz or 60 hertz. But for me, I'm so used to 120 hertz. I actually like that it has faster and smoother scrolling speeds when it comes to the outer display. Now, I had 120 hertz on the inner display on the 2, but not on the outer display. So I like having that option. Next, a brighter inner display and a brighter outer display. So if you look, you can clearly see that this is brighter. And I like that because my eyes ain't what they used to be. So I prefer a display that's brighter. So I like that. I like that a lot. 1200 nits peak brightness. Love that. Next, let's talk about the display. So most of you that are actually Samsung Knights, you already know that Samsung makes some of the best displays on the market. Now, you got this dynamic AMOLED 2X display with HDR10 Plus, and as you can see, it's absolutely gorgeous. Sometimes it just boggles my mind how Samsung constantly keeps making their displays better, even though there are other companies that are starting to catch up with Samsung when it comes to displays. Seriously, because Xiaomi makes an excellent display, and also Vivo makes an excellent display as well. So other companies are starting to catch up with them, but they make some beautiful, beautiful displays. And it's beautiful on the outer and the inner display. Next, the under display inner camera. Now, I really like what Samsung did with this, even though the inner display on here being seen didn't bother me because I just got used to it. So you can see it right there. That didn't bother me. I just got used to it, almost like I didn't even see it. So it's not a big deal. But on here, you really can't see it, honestly, unless you put it in a certain way and you're really trying to find it, then you'll find it. But when you're viewing content, when you're just looking at this, whatever, most angles, you're not going to see it at all. So they hit it very, very well. Only thing bad about it is that, the overall picture quality is very, very poor. But as far as just having basically all display when you're viewing content, they hit that inner camera extremely well. Next, the software. Of course, you got One UI, which is very one-handed friendly, and this device is going to receive Android 16 and 3 more years of security patches. So this phone is going to be good for a while. I know everybody don't care about, the latest One UI updates. Everybody don't care about security patches. And I keep trying to tell people in my comment section that everybody don't care about that. The regular people that just want a cell phone and a smartphone and it works, they don't care about software updates. Some people don't even actually update their phone when their phone tells them to update it. They feel like, as long as my phone is not having no problem, not issues, I'm not updating anything. So everybody don't care. But for those that do care, this is going to get Android 14, 15, and 16 and 3 more years of security patches. So this phone is going to be good for quite a while. Now, One UI, of course, everybody knows One UI is very one-handed friendly. So basically everything, if you're trying to get into something, say I'm going to get into connect devices and I want to bring something down, it'll do that. Now, I don't like this split screen. That's something I actually don't like. For some reason, I just don't care for it. I just wish it was just one big screen that I could use and do what I need to do on it. Because it really, everything don't quite come down far like it does on my regular phone. Like, let me show you real quick. Let me show you. Can I? So let me show you real quick. So if you're dealing with this candy bar style phone, say you want to look at, say, display, and you want to bring this down. See how far this comes down? You're not getting that on here. Okay, it's One UI, but everything is not coming down low. Like this comes down low, but say if you go into it, everything goes over here and nothing. You can go up, but that's not coming all the way down here to make it easy for you to access it. So it's more One UI with actually a regular slab phone than it is with the than it is with the Fold. And like I said, on this phone, on this one, they don't have that new software. See how everything is just one big thing? And I prefer that than this split screen. I don't like, if anybody can tell me how to turn this off where it doesn't do this, that's multi-control. Yeah, so I don't have to have this split. I'd rather have one display like this. So now if I go into that, see how it comes down? Everything comes down low to me. I can easily reach it. Samsung made this change with this device, and I don't like it. I just don't like it. I like, everything just big, one page, and I could bring things down low where I could easily access it. This is what I like. I don't like two different things. Like, I don't like this. I really don't. If there's some way that I could change this to like this, somebody let me know if that's possible. Right now, I don't know if that's possible. All right, let's get back into what we're doing here. All right, next is 12 gigs of RAM. Now, that's standard on, all foldable devices, which is good. And the RAM management on here is excellent. Next, performance. Now, you got the Snapdragon 8 Plus Generation 1, which works really, really great. Everything is pretty smooth. Everything is pretty fast. No stutters or anything like that. This is my two Bible apps I put together. So when it comes to fluidity, when it comes to performance, no issues at all. Runs really well. Like I said, it's just certain things like that split screen, and settings I just don't care for. But when it comes to performance, this thing performs very, very well. Nice and smooth. Even though I have other devices that actually perform smoother than this, but I mean, just for a foldable, and I'm happy with it. Not a problem. So performance on here is great. Next, you got the two separate home screens, which y'all know about. So I could have a totally different setup on this and then have a totally different setup on this. And I'm sure y'all like that. Right now, mine's is like kind of mirroring each other because I like, the setup to be exactly the same. So there is no difference between, my home screen and the inner display. They're both exactly the same. But you can have literally two separate home screens. You could change how you want things set up on here, and you could change how you want things set up on your outer display. Samsung right now is the only company that I know of that's doing that with their foldables. And I love that. Now, to me, in my opinion, and I haven't had every foldable, just based on the reviews I've seen of other foldables, Samsung still makes the best software for a foldable device. And that's why I believe most people, at least in this country, is going to get a Samsung foldable. They're not going to get the OnePlus. They're not going to get Xiaomi and Vivo and all these different other companies. They're not going to do it. Now, me, I like trying different things. And there are things about those other phones, the foldables that I like better than that of the Samsung. But when it comes just to the overall software, this is going to have way more features. And also, you're going to just get a better software experience when it comes to just what you can do with it for a foldable. Samsung makes the best software for foldables on the market. But I'll say this again, there are other companies that are starting to catch up. OnePlus Open is a good example of that. Next, the taskbar. Now, the taskbar is really nice. It's very convenient. I do like that. So if I go into here, it's right down here at the bottom. And if I need to go into an app real quick, I could just press it. It'll take me straight to it. So I like the convenience of that taskbar. And you could set it up where you could literally press this right here to make it go away or to make it come up. So you do have the option. It doesn't have to be there all the time, but it makes switching between apps very, very seamless, and I like that. Next, the multitasking capabilities. Now, of course, I love that as well. Now, I already had something set up. Now, of course, you can always do this, but a lot of other ones don't have the option. Now, you see this star here. Let me bring it back up. See that star there? That means you can make this your favorite. Press it again. You can change what side it's on. You turn this, it'll change the dimension like that, and I like that. Now, a lot of people like, viewing content like this. I don't actually. This is actually this. Well, you can change what side it's on too. I forgot. Let me see. Change this again. This is the dimension I like it 99, almost 100% of the time. This is just what I prefer, but that's just me. So the fact that you can keep configuring it all these different ways. Right now, Samsung's the only foldable device that I believe can do that. All these other ones are not showing me that. Let me see. So if I want to add something else, I just take that and put it right down here. So now I got 3 apps open at the same time. My Bible app over here, my other Bible app here, and now I got YouTube down here. So that's cool. And also I could add another one if I want to, a floating window. I just put it in the window. Now I got 4 applications going on at the same time. And with 12 gigs of RAM, it's going to be easy. You're not going to have to worry about it. So when it comes to multitasking, Samsung so far does it the best. The other manufacturer that's on their heels, I would say, would be OnePlus. Next, I do like the fact that this comes with wireless charging, unlike the OnePlus Open. No wireless charging and no reverse wireless charging. You will get both those on here, and I'm glad they're on here because wireless charging matters to me. Now, wireless charging don't matter to everybody, but wireless charging matters to me because I got a lot of wireless chargers, and there's nothing like just taking your phone, just sit it up on the thing. You don't have to plug it in. Just let it charge overnight. You get up in the morning, just take it off. Or it could just sit on top of it. You could wake up in the middle of the night, see the time, but know that the phone is charging. So I like having wireless charging, and I do like having reverse wireless charging because there's been a few occasions when my watch got low on battery, and it's nice to be able to take your either your buds, your wireless buds, or your smartwatch and just put it on the back of your phone and give it some charge. Or say if you're out with somebody and they need charge, they got wireless charging, you could give them some power from your device. So I like having, wireless charging and reverse wireless charging. Next, I love the edge panels. Now, I can't show you the edge lighting unless it, pops up. So I don't want to go into the settings to do that. But I like these edge panels. They're very convenient. You get the weather. Of course, I got things right here I could copy. I got, I forget what they call this one, but it's just very convenient having this, and I use this literally every single day. So edge panels is a must. I know there's other companies that are, have something similar to this, but it's not quite the same. Samsung Pass, I love that. When you're, have to, you don't have to constantly put in passwords when you go on secure sites, certain sites that you go on a regular. You could just, use your fingerprint and it'll automatically fill in all your information. So I absolutely love Samsung Pass. That is a must for me. And, when I'm using other devices and I don't have that, I really miss it. So, like I said, Samsung has the best software when it comes to foldables. I think Samsung has the best software, period, for Android. Now, that's just my opinion. Doesn't mean it's right. It's right for me. because I've used a lot of different OSs, and Samsung is by far my favorite OS when it comes to Android. Next, Samsung Notes. I love Samsung Notes because a lot of times I'm using it every time I do reviews or do anything. I'm using Samsung Notes because it is so convenient. I could line up everything. I could put everything the way I want and just read off that, because I'm using Samsung Notes now with my my Note 20 Ultra. So Samsung Notes is a must for me when I'm using other devices and I don't have it. I truly miss it. This is why my Note 20 Ultra will never come out my pocket. My most used device will always be a Samsung. Next, Good Lock. I love Good Lock. It gives you a lot of ways to even customize your phone even more. So I like Good Lock. I mean, you really can go in there. You could just do so many different things to customize your device the way you want it. Love Good Lock. Next, now this is definitely an upgrade from the 2, but this doesn't matter to everybody. This phone is IPX8 water resistant. So, of course, with the 2, you have no water resistance at all. Wasn't the biggest deal for me because I don't have my device near water. And those of you that don't ever have your device near water, it's not going to be a big deal. But I remember one time I was actually getting off work and I had my, my 2 with me, and I got caught out into a huge rainstorm and I didn't have my umbrella. And I was a little worried, that this was going to get, soaked and maybe it was going to have a problem, because my pants got all wet up because I didn't have, I forgot to bring my umbrella. And I mean, it was pouring. And, but I didn't have any damage or anything like that. But having the water resistance does give you a little bit more peace of mind, just in case. You just never know, what scenario life will throw at you and what you may find yourself in a situation where you may need that. So it's best to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. But like I said, it's not going to be a must for everybody. Next, stylus support. So you can use the S Pen on this device. Now, I do have an S Pen. I bought an S Pen case. And the only reason why I bought it because it was dirt cheap. And, you could put the S Pen. Let me grab it. I don't have the whole case with me. But you put this on the back of the case. It just slides right into place. Now, I'm going to be using this case for a while because I just love it. But, it's just nice to know that I don't have to worry about losing it because it goes straight down in that slot, and it snaps. And then when you slide this into the back of the case, it stays in place. So there is no way you're going to lose this. When you use this type of case for the S Pen, there's no way you're going to lose it. Now, any other type, like you got a Velcro on it, there's a chance of you losing it. But with that one, there's no chance of losing the S Pen. I wish the S Pen was, where you can insert it into the device. Maybe at some point they'll do that. But it's S Pen compatible, unlike the Z Fold 2. Next, the Samsung ecosystem. Now, if you're not heavily into the system, not going to be a big deal for you. I am. I got a lot of Samsung devices, and I like how they all talk to each other, especially when I'm doing Samsung Notes and stuff like that. Everything just updates on all my Samsung devices at the same time. I love that. I can also get text messages. Not only from my main phone, but from other Samsung devices as well. So I do love the Samsung ecosystem. Next, accessories. Now, there's no shortage of accessories for Samsung devices, period, because Samsung is a big, big brand name in the United States. So there is no shortage of accessories when it comes to this device, and I love that. I love that. And next and final thing that I love about this device is the cameras. Now, I thought the cameras on the Z Fold 2 were good. Not great, but good. But man, the jump from here to here is like night and day. These cameras on this foldable are awesome. They are great, unbelievable. I was shocked at how great the cameras are on this device is. Even when I'm zooming in real close on something, I'm far away, you can see a lot of detail. Great dynamic range. Just sharp. beautiful, bright, vivid colors. Even the video was excellent too. So I'm definitely impressed with the cameras on this device. Now, am I like y'all and saying for the money that you had to pay for this, that it should have had the S20, I say S22 because this came out the same year as the S22. Should it had S22 cameras on here? Absolutely. For that price, yes. Because it makes no sense for the S22 to be cheaper than this. This is way more, and then you don't even get flagship cameras. But I will say this. The quality of the videos and the photos on here looks like flagship quality to me. Even though it doesn't have the zooming capabilities of the S22. But I'm telling you, you are not going to be disappointed unless you're a camera buff. Now, if you're a camera buff, you probably going to have some issues with the camera. But if you're just a regular person like me that's just point and shoot, you're going to love these cameras, the camera quality. Like, if you want to make this your daily driver and you like taking photos and videos and all that, you're going to be absolutely fine with the camera and video quality of this device. But check out these videos and photo samples, and y'all let me know what you think. right, now it's time for me to get into all the things that I don't like. And with any device, there's always going to be things about it that you don't like. That's just normal. Now, for those of you that just can't handle anything negative being said about a device that you love, then maybe this part of the video you may not want to watch. But I keep it 100. I keep it real. It is always going to be something that you don't like about a device because there are no perfect devices. First thing, the presentation for this device is an absolute joke. Now, I know probably me and Flossie Carter are probably one of the two rare people that actually talk about presentation because presentation matters to us. It matters to what you get in the box based on how much you're paying for a device or based on how much you're paying for something, period. You want a really good presentation. Just like when you go out to dinner and you're spending a ton of money, you want a good presentation, you want a nice ambiance, plus you want the food to be good. So it's one thing to have a nice presentation and the food is terrible, but you want the whole deal, especially when you're spending a lot of money. So the first thing, the presentation is an absolute joke because there's nothing in the box except a cable. And that's a joke for a device that almost cost $2,000. Now, of course, I didn't pay nowhere near that. I got this for a really, really low price because that's just the way I am now. If I'm just late to the party when it comes to reviewing certain things, that's fine because my thing is I'm only going to buy something that I really, really want and that I know I'm more than likely going to keep. I'm not going to just get it just to get it, just because, somebody may want to see it. No, I'm not doing that. I bought this because I really wanted it and I had every intention of keeping it. So, but I didn't want to pay those outrageous prices. So I just waited. And I'm the kind of person, I don't get phones through carriers. I buy my phones outright. Now, I know most people can't do that because of their financial situation. And I completely understand that everybody, can't do that. But for me, I just wait till the price drops to a price where I can live with. Then I just go on Amazon and I'll just buy it right out and get a renewed one. And I'm good. Now, the good thing about Amazon, if you buy it renewed, you will get a charger in the box. Now, it's not going to be the 25-watt charging capability that this has. They're going to put a 15-watt charger in it, but that's better than not having no charger at all. So until you're able, if you're a person that's on a fixed income or you just don't make that kind of money like that, at least you'll have a way of charging your device until you're able to get a 25-watt charger. But the presentation on this device is absolute trash garbage. Samsung need to do better. Next, no expandable storage. Now, I know most flagship devices pretty much removed expandable storage from all their devices except for Sony. They still the last one out there. But I don't like that. I don't like for almost, $2,000, you can't even expand your own storage. And that's why a lot of people hold on to older devices that have expandable storage, like so, because we want expandable storage. We want to be able to expand our storage. I'm the type of person, I keep a lot, a ton of movies, photos, pictures, music on my device. And I want to be able to expand it if I want to. And it's a shame for a device that costs this much and you can't even expand it. You got to pay more money for a larger variant, a larger storage variant. I don't like that at all. Next, no headphone jack. Now, for some of you, stop complaining about the headphone jack. Look, I'm not, because there's no reason for this not to have one. I like options. When you're spending this kind of money, you want options. What is wrong with having the option to have a headphone jack? Everybody's not into Bluetooth. Now, they're forcing you to some degree to get Bluetooth, but everybody don't like Bluetooth. Some people actually like to plug in their device, especially those people that have real high impedance headphones. They don't want to use the USB Type-C port. They want a headphone jack. That's why LG is such a beloved device, because it has that 32-bit hi-fi quad DAC where you could, drive some high impedance headphones and you get superior audio quality. Unlike Samsung, which they don't give you the option no more because there's no headphone jack. So I don't like that. Samsung, please bring back the headphone jack. Give us the option. Next, no IR blaster. I don't like that either, especially for a device that costs this much. Okay, and Samsung used to put IR blasters on their devices. I don't like that it don't have one. Next, the slow battery charging speeds are so pathetic. 20 watt, 25 watt fast charging, that's a joke. That's a joke. Seriously, especially because of the competition. I got phones that got 80 watt wired charging, 67 watt wired charging, and you're talking 25 watts for almost $2,000. That is just sickening. That's sickening. Also, 15 watt wireless charging. That's a joke. Come on, Samsung. 15 watts. It's been 15 watts for the last 6-7 years. Like, seriously? Y'all need to do better. I mean, all these other phones I got, Mi 11 Ultra, 67 watt wireless charging, my Vivo X Note, 50 watt wireless charging. You know, I got a few phones that destroy this just in wireless charging, and destroy my Note 20 Ultra in wireless charging as well. I got phones that charge faster wirelessly than Samsung phones charge wired, and that should not be. Should not be. And of course, the reverse wireless charging is only 4.5. That's a joke too. It should be minimum 10 watts. So I don't like that either. Next, the battery life, the battery life is just okay. Now, you notice, and I don't know if y'all noticed this, but I did not mention the battery life is something that I like, because I really don't. It's just okay. It'll get you through a day if you use the outer display a little bit more, or I'll say 50 on the outer, 50 on the inner. If you use it that way, you can get through a full day. But if you're somebody like me that likes to watch movies and do most things on the inner display, you're not going to make it through a full day if you're a heavy user. If you're a heavy user and you using that inner display all the time, you're using Google Maps and you're playing games and you're watching movies and all that, you're not going to make it through a full day if you use that inner display heavily. You're just not. You're going to get probably the most, I would say, when I go heavy on the inner display, I'm getting like 4 to 4.5 hours of screen on time. For those of you that care about screen on time, I'm not a big person on screen on time because I'm not on my phone like that. But you're not getting, for me, when I'm using the inner display, and I'm saying inner display heavily, I can't get through a full day. But if I kind of make it even between the two, I can get a probably, I don't know, maybe 12 to 14 hours. So that's mediocre. This should have a 5,000 milliamp hour battery or a 6,000 milliamp hour battery. 4,400 milliamps is too small. And like I said, when you open it up to use the inner display, you're going to use way more battery. And that's the whole point of having a foldable, is that you can open it up to use it like a tablet. But when you do that, you're going to kill the battery. Now, of course, I'm using 100% brightness and I'm using 120 hertz on both displays. But it shouldn't matter, especially when you're paying this much money for a device. The battery should be bigger and it should be optimized a lot better. Next, the inner camera is very poor, like poor quality. And I think I took one picture that you should have seen on when I did the, photos and video samples. You should have at least seen one picture of me that was blurry. I believe I put it in there, but it's just poor. Now, I like the fact that they hide the inner camera, but it's very poor quality. They need to get better with that. Next, no S Pen in the box, which I think is just, it's unbelievable. Almost $2,000 and you can't even give me an S Pen. Seriously? It's S Pen compatible, but you can't even put the S Pen in the box. There is absolutely no excuse for that. You should not have to buy an S Pen for this device. No way. And the fact that, like I said, no case in the box, no charger in the box, no headphones, and no S Pen. It's ridiculous. Next, you can't use the S Pen on the outer display, and that shouldn't be. I don't know why Samsung has not yet, even with the Z Fold 5, you still cannot use the S Pen on the outer display, and that's inexcusable. It's just inexcusable. Next, the speakers could use a little more volume. Now, the speakers, they're good, but they're not great, and they should be. Now, it seemed like my original Z Fold and my Z Fold 2 seem like they're a little louder than that of the Z Fold 4. Now, maybe it's just my ears, I don't know, but they just seem like they're louder. This is just lacking some volume for me. I got, phones like the LG V60, the Redmi Note 11 Pro, the Mi 11 Pro, that'll blow this out of the water when it comes to volume and also quality of sound. Just blow this out of the water. And that shouldn't be for that price. This is a super premium priced and quality device, and it should have the best speakers on the market. And last, no hi-fi quad DAC. Now, of course, I know that don't matter to everybody. It don't matter to the masses. But it matters to me, especially, like I said, when you're spending top dollar, you want everything. You want top everything. You want top dual stereo speakers. You want top audio. You want top display. You want all the bells and whistles. You want everything fast and fluent. You want it all, especially, like I said, when you're paying this kind of money. And the fact that this has a 32-bit audio, which is good, sounds decent, but a hi-fi quad DAC will sound even better. And to me, when you're going to, ask people to spend this kind of money on a device, it should have everything. And I mean everything at its best, at its peak. So that really much ends my review of this device. I love it. It's definitely an upgrade for me from the Z Fold 2 to this, mainly because of that bigger display. Also because of the 120 hertz on the outer display, which I like. And it's also a brighter display. So I like all those, and the cameras on here. Like I said, from the 2 to this is like night and day. So to me, if you're thinking about it from the 2 to this, it's definitely worth it, honestly. It really is. It's a legit 2-year upgrade, not an update, an upgrade. So thank you all for taking the time to view this content. I do appreciate it. Hope everybody out there staying safe, staying well, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.